Okay, I would like to talk about the process of conceit or the self. So, we constantly have this image of the self, of us, right? Even if it's not real or it's a process or it's just a feeling, I don't know, it's there and it's active, right? And it's just this addiction to it, this attachment to it that you have and that you constantly have to feed, right? You do all these things like your career, your hobbies, trying to get liked by other people, achieving stuff, anything just to feed your self-image. And when you're successful, when conditions arise that are conducive to success, then for a while, the image of you will kind of dissolve into the rest, right? Because you'll be able to accept it and you'll feel oneness and you'll be happy. But because you have this self image, so you have this image which is boxed in, which matches the rest of the background, right? But because you have it boxed in, it won't be able to change. And of course, the background, the rest of reality, will change. And then your image will still be the same, which once matched the background, but now no longer does. So where at first it caused oneness, now it causes separation. But you're not ready to let go of it. So you'll keep wanting to keep it that way, right? Because it worked once, why doesn't it work anymore? Until it creates so much suffering because it's so different from the background and it has created separation for so long that you just have to let go of it. You just have to let go because it makes no sense, right? It's been making you unhappy for a long time. The thing is, the self has many of these images. So when it just lets go of one, it's not even that it has to reach for another one. It already has its hand on another one and another one. It has tentacles like an octopus, right? So it has all these images. So this one will slowly go away, but this one you won't even be thinking of because you're so focused on these ones. So it's fine. It always has something to hold on to. And it's just so tiring, right? Because you'll constantly have to try and feed this image to make it conform with the rest of reality, make it fit in with the background. But usually reality just won't let that happen, right? So you have to strive and strive and strive, and you'll finally get success, right? That's what everyone's after, the big success. You'll be the world champion. You made it. You got an Olympic gold medal. You won an Emmy Award, right? Or for us normal people, probably something much more subtle, like you got that job, you got the partner that you wanted, you lost weight, you finished reading your book, finished your education, anything like that, right? You'll be happy because you got it, but it'll move on, right? Ex-world champions are now old, cannot play their sport anymore. Does the fact that they won a world championship still make them happy? I don't know. Maybe it even causes them suffering because they'll be constantly measuring themselves against how they once was. They used to be great and now they're old. So it becomes a source of suffering. And the problem is it's such a comprehensive process. Any effort you put into anything that results into anything, this will take credit for it. But here's the good news, right? You can't escape this process like this. If you look at it like this, and you think of it like this, it's a perfect process, it's a perfect trap. Nobody can escape it. Because the thing is, there's no you, right? It's just a process doing this. There's nothing that can fight it. The thing that fights it strengthens it more, right? So you can't get out of it. But here's the good news, right? That's not entirely the way it is. That's not completely how reality is. It's a pretty good representation, but it's not the final view, or it's just a view, right? The thing is, this process, right? I'm not going to discuss its origin, right? It probably has something to do with something prehistoric where we were preconditioned to look for good things and stay away from bad things and to protect our bodies, and to stay alive. It's just this survival of the fittest, will to stay alive. All organisms have been given this, right? That's probably where it came from, but it doesn't matter. It's there now. What this process is it's ultimately it's just this longing back for oneness, right? And it's actually successful, because when you are successful, you feel oneness again, right? But then it turns into suffering because of the attachment piece, because you attach to something that no longer is real, right? That's why the Buddha said the attachment is the problem, right? If you wouldn't attach, then that wouldn't be a problem. So, but this process is just trying to get back to oneness, right? It's just trying to help you, and it does help you. It makes wonderful things happen, and usually it's slowly starting to burn itself out. That's its purpose, to burn itself out, right? It'll start with something very coarse in terms of a goal. Probably when you're small, you just want to be a cartoon character or something like that, and then you figure out can't do that. Maybe you want to, get good at the sport that you started playing in your adolescence. Maybe then you go into college, you want to do good at college and get a job, at a career. You figure out that doesn't happen, doesn't work very well, so you go into self-help, you go into religion, philosophy. I don't know, it gets more and more subtle, right? But it's the same process, but it's starting to burn itself out. More and more, it's losing its power. So it's just a part of this, right? And it's totally fine that that's the way that this process works. You do not need to resist it, right? Or you can, and that's just the process, which is fine, again. So it's just there, and it's super interesting. It's a fascinating thing to look at, the way it works, right? And you have these constant reminders, right? You constantly get tired, frustrated, sad, confused is a huge one, angry, disappointed, afraid of losing all these images. You constantly get all these reminders and pointers that there is a different way, that it's fine to let go, right? That's also part of the process. So if you're able to use these pointers, these hints that are constantly given to you, then you'll see the beauty of it, of the whole thing, of all these dark emotions, of this whole process. And that doesn't mean that you won't become exhausted with the process, which I'm not sure if it's the same process, different process, it doesn't matter, right? The exhaustion is also a beautiful thing. Let's say you're completely exhausted with this process. You're just, oh God. Then don't do it. Then don't go after, don't go after some of the images that you're just tired of. Just focus on one that you like now. Or just don't go after any of them, and then just sit there. It's also fine. So weird, all of this. It's just so weird. Okay, that's all.